He was born in a stable. He eats, sleeps, and drinks horse racing. He plies his trade in Jamaica, and for several years in Canada. His nickname is Encyclopaedia, and there is a reason for that name. He is Andre Martin, a senior jockey, who wants to eventually train, own, and breed horses. Encyclopaedia in a compelling interview on Gallop.com, and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper, expounds with alacrity his long association with horse racing.
How did you get that name? Let's start there.
Well, I would say working on TVJ was given to me by a friend of mine and co-host Patrick Anderson. I guess it's from my knowledge of racing and my knowledge of horses and my expertise as well.
You were doing color commentary or something like that?
I was a racing analyst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on a racing program called A Moment with Thoroughbreds.
Right. So, if you're an encyclopedia, tell us how it all started in terms of your schooling. Where are you from, first of all?
Well, I'm from Newlands, Portmore, about 5 minutes from the track.
Right.
Started my first schooling, I would say, was the stables. I was born in a stable pretty much, like Jesus Christ. But yeah, we had a stable in our yard. My father was a trainer, Alvin Martin, you know. And my brother was a jockey also. So since I saw a horse before I saw a dog, so the love for horses has always been with me. I started going to Newland Basic School. You know, we would get excited when we see the horses passing in the morning because, as I said, there were more than one stables in Newlands at the time. Then I went on to Nagoet Primary, and then, you know, I went on to Jamaica College, and from there, horse racing it is.
Who is your brother that you speak about?
Delroy Martin. I used to ride back in I think the late 60s, 70s, right up to I think late 90s, finishes trade in Calder, Gulfstream Calder. He was a trainer also, like in the final, but he died in 2006, just at the same time when I started riding.
Okay, before you get to where you started riding, how did you manage to keep a focus in school whilst at the same time having this love for horse racing?
Well, funny enough, you know, like getting to ride horses would be my reward from my mom, because my mom loved the sport, but the fact or the thought of me becoming a jockey, she wasn't, you know, didn't sit well with her. But I remember...
Even though your brother was a jockey and your father a trainer?
Yes, even then. Because she herself rode horses, but one day she had a spill, and then that's when she got the fear of it. But I remember in 2000, after passing the GSAT and passing for Jamaica College, she said, "I'll give you anything you want, you know, as a reward." So she asked me what I wanted, and I asked her, because since my father died in 1994, I haven't been to the track. So 6 years later, I asked her, one thing I would want to do is go to the track. But little did she know that in the afternoons I would go by the stable and I would ride walk horses for trainers like Neville Cooley, Joseph Thomas, you know, trainers around the area. And anyway, she granted me my wish, and I came to the track in 2000. And I first went to Roy Jackson and started there, walking horses around the ring, carrying up horses for him. And I was around Billy Williams also, Garrett Ascott, just to name a few, trainers like Mikey Leo. And as usual, the Newland trainers, the Joseph Thomas, the Rudolph Hardials and such.
But tell me something, how did you cope? You must have been a star at school. Being
Well,
an apprentice at
well,
the track,
yes,
you know,
yes.
Being an all-boys school.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was a nice experience, and up to this day I still have my Jamaica College fan base, and thanks to them I've always been motivated. About 2 times I've think about, you know, trying something else, because, you know, my mother sent me to good school, not for anyone to take me for a fool or anything, but sometimes in this game, you know, you have to play the fool or you feel like a fool, but you know, the love for this game, it's, you know, it's addicted sometimes, you know. I remember I left once and was working at here Jamaica. I left like for about 3 months, and this horse that I was, you know, getting on in the mornings started running and actually lost the race by a nose. And I said, that's it. I never went back to here Jamaica. I came back into racing full time, and then since I just, you know, kept a steady head.
But to make the story hold, did you get back on that horse and get
Yes,
him past the post in
yes,
front?
yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
accomplished the mission.
Actually, 3 weeks after that, you know, I rode the horse and won on the horse. It's a dancing something or another, she was called. But trainer Noel never, and I, you know, right now, I would say he made me the star I am today. As well, along with tutoring me and telling me how to, you know, behave myself in a professional manner. But actually, he gave me some of the best horses I've ever ridden here, and most of my wins, I would say, come from Noel Never.
So you came down after your mother granted you that wish. Tell us how that went.
Well, it went good. I came here and actually told myself that I wanted to be a jockey. She didn't really know my intentions. Even when I was selected for the riding school, it was, you would say, behind her back, you know, because I was coming to the track early in the mornings, then I would put my clothes on and go to the school after. This she didn't know until I was doing CXC, that I was doing that in the morning. So, and how this happened, this particular day we didn't have any CXC. I didn't have any subject doing, so that morning I had to take one of the horses to the sea. And I was on a trailer. She used to sell fish down by the sea, and I was telling my trainer from the get-go that I don't want to go. And he's like, if you don't go, this is the last day you come around me. And because he had 2 horses that I was really, really in love with. And actually I was really learning the game there. You know, learning to be a real horseman, learning the rudiments of the sport. Well, horse anatomy, first of all. Because if you don't know the horse, it's like being a mechanic. If you don't know how to fix it, you know, don't ride it. So eventually that's how I learned racing. And then this day in particular, I was speaking, went to the sea. And like I say, everyone know you. And trust me, 2 little guys, like about 6-year-old, say, Rose son. And the news spread along the beach that Rose son is here with horses. And everyone came out to see me with the horses, and she was there too. Oh my God. But, you know, eventually she called the school, everything was rectified. But after that, you know, she got really strict on me. Then I couldn't talk to her about horses. Eventually, you know, she saw my name on the news one night, a batch of 16, I think it was, being selected, and everyone phoned her. I see your son's name on the TV. And then she became in love with the idea of me being a jockey. But sadly, she didn't really get to see me ride long enough. She only saw me a year riding, and then she passed after.
When did you actually got your jockey's license or apprentice license?
I got my apprentice license in 2006, just a few months after graduating from high school. Started riding right away. I had my first win like about a week after I got my license. Was disqualified, unfortunately. But then, you know, a few weeks later, I got back another winning ride. The horse I got disqualified and was my pal Dan. And a lot of people came, you know, I was really down about it. A lot of people came around me and said, listen, here a lot of great men, his first win was disqualified, and they called a few names. And then I got a little more motivated. But thanks to Margaret Parchment, she gave me my first official winning ride.
And who were some of the other apprentices that were in the batch with you?
The top one in our batch at the time was Omar Walker. And you had Javar Simpson, Jason Simpson, Carlton Malcolm, Brian Wilson, Lenroy Collins, Kevin Blake, the Bennetts, E. Bennett, how many, not relation, but Delroy Behari also. Yeah, it was 16 of us, I think it was. Yeah.
And how has it been since that day up to now as a jockey?
Well, it has its up and down. It's been a roller coaster, but thankfully I can say for the past 10 years it's been, you know, not a smooth ride, but a more steady ride. Starting out it was really good. You thought, yes, this is it. After the apprenticeship run, it was going good for a year, and then I had some issues with my weight. I couldn't make certain weight that, you know, I was called upon to make. And then, you know, I had some bad patch. With some good trainers, I lost some good company, you would say. Like, for example, I was riding for Nunes as his top rider, his main man at one point. I was riding for Wayne DeCosta as his main man for one point, but due to, you know, the weight situation, I ended up losing out.
But you're referring to Anthony Nunes?
Yes, Anthony Nunes. Yes, like he gave me some good wins. I remember good horses like Lorena, Alpha Lupa, Alacran. Those are some horses that stand out, you know.
And up to now, how many winners have you ridden at Cayman Park?
I don't know the figure, but it's over 150 wins, going on almost 200 now. But the last time I checked, it was over 150.
And some of the major races you would have won. I know you won a couple of classic races. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, I won the biggest one of all, Super Stakes with Humber. Yeah, that was a very, very, very exciting victory. Alacran, what I would call the 2-year-old stakes. I won with the Guineas with Queen Paula, the Phyllis Guineas. I won the Governor's Cup for Mr. Sharp. That's Uncle Taff. I'm actually the first one as an apprentice to ride the big horse in Jamaica, Miracle Man. And, you know, that was one of my major accomplishments until winning the Super Stakes, you'd say. Because, you know, Miracle Man was probably, and probably still is the biggest horse, well, I've known, I've seen, I've ridden in Jamaica. But thanks to Mr. Nunes, he gave me the opportunity in 2014 to start traveling. Since 2014, I've been traveling constantly, so I haven't ridden a full season in Jamaica since 2014.
Tell us about your sojourn in Canada in particular over these past couple of years. How successful has it been?
It's been a good stint in Canada. I've been going to Canada for 8 years now, and every season I've won over 20 races, except for 1 year where I got hurt. That was, I don't remember the year, I think it was 2018. I was out for a while, but thank God, you know, I got back in the saddle and had my best year coming out of injury. You know, I had to prove something to myself, because I've always told myself, like, you know, I've been in the riding school since I was 15. Started riding when I was 16. So I always told myself, when I reach 30, if I can't keep up, I'm going to do something else. Or if my body can't manage, I'll do something else. But thanks be to God, I'm past 30 and I'm going on strong. So let's see. The best is yet to come, I think, because, you know, I haven't really won a derby. And that's one of my major dreams, to win a derby here. You know, working with babies is one of my favorite things. So it would be nice for one of them babies to repay me by giving me a derby victory.
But how do you reconcile that, Andre, when you spend so much time abroad? You know?
Well, I can always be invited by a trainer to ride in the derby or the classics or such. But until that opportunity comes, I'll just have to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, Canada, you know, it takes setbacks, like you lose out being considered, because they'll say you don't know the horse or something like of the sort. But you never know. Fortune favors the brave.
Are you going to Canada this year again?
Yes, I'll be back in Canada very soon. The season starts in April, so I'm looking forward to be there.
And it ends?
It ends in November, mid-November. But like I said, this sport, it's a gem, and I would like for everyone here in Jamaica to really treat it as such, and some of the guys here to really, take themselves, what do we say, take responsibilities for their actions and actually, deal with themselves with professionalism, because the world is watching, and I'm telling you, the world is watching.
Who would you say are the best jockeys that you see ride locally?
Locally, I'll have to tell you, I'll have to come from back in the 90s when I used to see Winston Griffiths at his best, Charles Ozzie at his best. Charlie will forever be my #1 jockey. I don't know why, but
JC thing.
it's a JC thing too, but his manner of, his charisma and his manner of professionalism, Charlie really have that. And Andrew Ramjeet, the great diamond man, turn for the top of the lane. And here you see a lot of riders doing it. He was one of the first jockeys I saw doing it. And for lightweight riders, Wesley Henry, Percy Williams, just to name a few. Those are some of the great jockeys. And then coming into the 2000s, you had like Kenyatta Davis, a real friend of mine. We grew up in the same area. My father actually was apprenticing him at the time, so I have a special love for him. You have Shane Ellis, and in my batchmate now, Omar Walker, Dane Nelson, so the sport has its, has its perks.
What about horses? Who are some of the best horses you have seen raced here?
Well, for me, I would say Miracle Man is the best horse, but it's a little biased because I rode him also. But before Miracle Man, I would say Menudo. He was one of the best I've seen. I never got to see Warzone and Eras like as a grown-up kid. I saw him as a child, like 4-year-old, 5-year-old. I saw those horses running. But after that, you'd have horses like She's a Manita. But before She's a Manita, there was a horse called Storm on the Loose. It was one of the fastest horses I've seen, And then you had the horses like Lady Gita. I never really seen them, but I saw pictures and films of them because my father was friends with the owners and stuff like that. And Philip Fiani had a few. He was one of them trainers that I would always admire the way he treats his horses,
You mentioned school, and your mother was keen on that. And immediately after doing your 6Es, you went into riding. What were your results like at 6E?
Well, thankfully I came out with 9 6E subjects. It should have been more, paying more attention. I like the literature, religious education, and history.
The arts.
Yes, the arts. Those were my majors going into high school. I like geography also, technical drawing, auto mechanic, stuff like that. Life lessons. And then I'm also a business student, principle of business accounts and stuff like that.
And for horse racing in the future, what does it hold for Andre Martin?
Well, right now I hope that in the future I can become a trainer and a owner and a breeder. Right now I'm hoping that I can transition myself to the next phase and actually be known and actually do well.
Do you have a timeline for that, or you just let it flow?
I'll let it flow for now. I'll let it flow. As I say, when I was younger, I would tell myself when I'm 30, I would think about doing it. So right now I'm past 30. So I'm thinking about it and I'm saving for the next step.
Andre, thank you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Martin's last winner at Caymanas Park was on February 26, 2023, atop the Randolph Scott Trained Without Remorse. Let us relive that winning moment.
900 meters straight thereof. Fair start potential though, missed the start. On the far side, Without Remorse is running quickly in the early exchanges. English Anne is nearest to us. Also near the stand fence in the red sleeves, that's a Caveman, Money Boy just in behind them. As Without Remorse is way over on the far side and right up with that lead. Wildfire is also showing speed along with Caveman. English Anne is nearest to us as they sort themselves out and make their way now racing up toward the final 3/16. On the far side, Without Remorse looks to have the overall lead. Wildfire chasing with Caveman and English Anne. So Ragbar Bappy asked to come on, but possibly for a placing as Without Remorse continues to lead. Wildfire now coming at Without Remorse. Remorse is being driven flat to the boards. Wildfire flying in the end, but Without Remorse wins it over Wildfire. Then Caveman close between on the far side, so Ragbar Bappy and English Anne. Remorse is being driven flat to the boards. Wildfire flying.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from Gallop.com, YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for more enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.